Well, we certainly welcomed the stimulus that the government announced. Again, trying to be constructive and bipartisan about this. When the announcement was made, we did make the point that we'd have to wait and see whether it was going to be enough. And I note it hasn't taken the government long to announce that it's going to have to come out with further stimulus. I think there are some pretty significant gaps remaining in terms of what the government has announced so far. And I'm particularly thinking about sole traders. There is support in place for small businesses who employ staff, and that's a good thing. But sole traders, currently there's no support there for them, and we still think that the support that's being provided for casual workers is insufficient as well. I might just say, from a Queensland point of view, and both Gerard and I are senators for Queensland, the impact on the tourist industry is absolutely devastating. I was at a function on the Gold Coast on Friday with tourism leaders. I was in Mackay last week as well, hearing about the impact on particularly the Whitsundays. And I've been in regular contact with Senator Green, our senator based in Cairns, which is really suffering from the tourist downturn. So we are going to need some specific injections from the government, and the sooner they can get moving on that, the better.
Do you agree, Gerard Rennick, should the government be doing more, in particular with tourism? We're looking at just this huge impact has come through with Qantas this week. 90% of international flights cancelled. There's going to be huge flow-on effects. Should we see more targeted stimulus for those industries?
Look, I think we should wait until the Prime Minister comes out with further measures as he announces them. The difficulty at this stage is obviously knowing how long economic activity will be subdued because of the virus. I mean, this could go 3 months, it could go 6 months. So obviously we need to be measured. But in terms of the stimulus so far, it should be noted that casual workers, basically they take sick leave or have to take sick leave on the 14 days probation if they think they've got the virus. They are entitled to 2 weeks of sick payments. And the government has already put $1 billion on the table for the tourism and agricultural sectors as well. So there are stimulus measures there for those particular sectors.
And Annalise, we'll have to wait and see how quickly the government can get that sort of thing out. I mean, unfortunately, one of the problems we have seen with the government so far around bushfire recovery is that they make announcements which then take an eternity to actually hit the ground. So I probably have to disagree with Gerard slightly when he says that we need to wait and see what the government's got to announce. The last thing we can afford at the moment is, as a nation, to see the kind of complacency that unfortunately has riddled some of the government's responses to other issues that the country's faced. We've got to get in there and get the economy moving now and keep as many people in work as we possibly can.
We've only got a minute left, but Gerard Rennick, do you accept that? Has the government been complacent?
Absolutely not, and I think that's an unfair accusation. I think we've been cautious and measured. As I said, this is a moving feast, and it's important to make sure that we do target these areas properly, and we need to get feedback, but we are totally committed to supporting the Australian economy.